guys, it's Ariana. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're going to be reading some more scary stories. So as per usual, it's pretty loud upstairs. My boyfriend and my parents are talking and they're being kind of loud. I can literally hear them talking about how my boyfriend doesn't like it when my dog jumps on the couch or something. And I think it's hilarious because he's never not gonna jump on the couch, so he can get over it. As per usual, I have my wicked candle in here and I have my hot chocolate candle lit and ready to go, making the cozy mood. And I have a bunch of Reddit stories to read, so I'm really excited. So let's jump into the first one. So I have an update actually from somebody. I read their story in one of the videos recently. This is from the Spoopy Cjades section and it's from FF4QUA and it's titled, "A Non-Believer Friend Saw His Doppelganger in His Family's Manor." This story takes place in my family's manor in the middle of summertime. If you have read my paranormal story, you already know what's been going on at my house. But if not, then here's a little summary. We moved into a huge house and things started happening right after I had a traumatic experience, and now I hate my family house with all my heart. My family likes to spend all summer, June, July, and even August when it's not too cold yet by then, in our summer house near the sea. Because there are more things to do there in the summer, I don't really like that place. Because there's no internet or people my age to hang out with, so I usually stay home alone for those 3 months. After the experience I had in that house, I hate spending time in there alone. So I thought of inviting one of my best friends over to hang out with me for a few days. My friend's name is Silver. He is my age and does not believe in ghosts or anything that is paranormal related. He usually finds an explanation for every little thing that can be paranormal. He's the kind of mood killer, was exactly the kind of friend that I needed for a couple of days. Obviously, he knew what happened to me and told me his perspective of the story. I probably had a bad dream and thought it was real and overreacted, and then on and on. So I agreed with him because I didn't want to talk about it at all, but he likes to be right every time. I agreed to his story so he would finally shut the fuck up. He did eventually, and we agreed to watch a movie in the movie theater, so we got snacks, popcorn, chips, soda, candy, and everything you could find in our pantry. We basically emptied the whole damn pantry, but who cares? We agreed to Scream movie marathon because we adore those movies. I can only watch thriller or horror movies because if it's not a thriller or horror related, I literally fall asleep within 10 minutes. We started watching the movies at 10 p.m. I want to say we were in the middle of Scream 2 when stuff started to happen. Of course, stuff was already happening even before Silver arrived, but nothing like this. It was like the spirit knew a non-believer had entered their territory and wanted to spook him. I was so used to the sounds and bangs that I didn't even notice them, but every time something happened, he did. It was like he was the target, not me, but him. He tried his best not to take a glance every single time something happened, but I could tell he was on edge. He probably thought I was messing with him, so I told him not to bother himself with the noises and just focus on the movie, that they'll stop. So I thought. He eventually relaxed and was sucked into the movie. At the end of Scream 2, I had to pee so bad that I told him I was going to the bathroom. He didn't even bother to say something to me, so I just got up quietly and left the room. It took me maybe 10 minutes in the bathroom because the best bathroom and the only one I used daily was on the second floor, so it took some time to get there and back. I was washing my hands when I heard a scream, not one of those terrified screams, but when you get scared of a jump scare scream. So I went back to the movie theater, giggling, and I wanted to ask him why he had screamed. I started to open the theater room door, but stopped. The front door was wide open. That has never happened before, I thought to myself. I walked to the front door and I closed it, locked it, and walked to the movie room again. When I opened the door to the room, it was black. No light was on, and the TV was even off. I called Silver's name, but he didn't answer. I said out loud that if he spooks me, he's gonna pay for it. Yet he didn't answer. I turned on the light in the room and found the room empty. No sign of Silver. I closed the cinema door and yelled out his name again. No answer yet again. I started to worry, so I called him. It took me 3 times until he answered, panting as he had just been running. I asked him where he was, and he told me not to open the cinema door and go back to my room and lock it. I listened. When I finally got to my room, I asked again where he was. He said that he was home. I was confused and asked him what happened. I wish I never did, because I did not sleep that night and was on edge the whole day thinking about what he told me. He said he heard me say that I was going to the bathroom. He heard the door open and close. About 5 minutes passed when he heard the door open and close again. He said he saw in the corner of his eye who he thought was me sitting right next to him, so he didn't think of anything of it. When he asked me why it took so long, I didn't answer. When he asked me again, I didn't answer again. Then he felt something was off and looked at who he thought was me and froze. What he saw was himself, smiling at him. One of those inhumane, creepy-ass smiles. He told me that it looked just like him, the same clothes, same hair, but the face was something else. someone else's. Its eyes were red, like they had been crying, and the teeth were sharp. The smile was way too wide for a normal human being to make. Silver was in shock. His blood went cold, and he could not move, or talk, or even breathe. He thought he was about to cry, or worse, die. But when he got the courage finally, he stood up and started walking backwards. Silver managed to ask, "Who are you?" to the thing. He blinked, and it now stood inches from his face. And with a snarl, it said, "You." Silver bolted from the room, running as fast as he could to the front door, swung it open, and did not stop running until he was at the front of his house. That's when he picked up his phone to answer my call. He now believes that what he encountered in my house cannot be explained as a non-paranormal event. He still visits me from time to time, but now only when everyone's home. He also avoids the theater room like his life depends on it and refuses to go in there even just for a minute. He has that feeling that the entity, or whatever it was, is still waiting for him to open the door and take his place as him forever. I have more scary stories that friends and I have experienced in the house and on the property. I'm going to try to write them all down as soon as the exam period is over, but for now, that's all I have been able to write down so far. If you have anything to comment about the story, please do. I would like to know what you guys think about it. I hope you enjoyed it. Holy shit, that is fucking terrifying. I have no words. That is so fucking creepy. Holy shit, I don't know how I would react. I probably would react the exact same way your friend did. I would have bolted. Like, that's fucking terrifying. Although leaving your friend behind is kind of mean. He probably should have like bolted to the bathroom and got you. But like, I kind of get like the fight or flight stance. He chose to flee, which makes fucking sense. That is absolutely terrifying. So the next one that I'm going to read is from the paranormal section. And this one is from the Reddit author Perspective Less 3632, and it is titled, "A Ghost Boy Has Been Following Me Since My Last Vacation." Hi there. Well, even for me, this sounds weird to explain because I'm a skeptic. 3 months ago, I went on vacation to Italy with my spouse and some friends. We were in a rather old and gloomy house with crucifixes and all kinds of old things. When it came time to divide up the rooms, one of our friends, who claims to be a psychic, refused to take a particular room because it had bad vibes. I didn't care, so I took it. After the third night, I was suddenly awakened. Something was tugging at my foot 2 times in a row. I wasn't afraid, but I was surprised. It felt a bit like a child playing or wanting to ask something. I told myself that I was dreaming, but the following night, I felt as if someone was resting gently on my legs. When I opened my eyes to see what was going on, I saw a little boy standing at the end of the bed. I was really scared, even though it didn't feel evil. I explained the whole thing to my psychic friend, who wanted to help me. She detected several spirits. According to her, the little boy even grabbed her arm, pulled her hair, and then went into the other room. He just wanted to play. Nothing else has happened since. But recently, however, strange things have been happening. I wake up several times for no reason at night with the feeling of something is wrong. Nothing bad, just that I'm pulled from my sleep. Once again, I was awakened with the sensation of my foot being pulled. And this is where it gets creepy. A week ago, my spouse was getting ready to leave in the morning, and half asleep, I felt a warm hug enveloping me, and I was happy that he was giving me a hug before leaving for work. Except that at the same time, I heard my spouse in the other room leaving and locking the door. So who the fuck was hugging me? I was terrified. I turned on the lamp and left the room. Calmed down, and I wanted to go back into the room to turn the lamp off, but it was already off, which I clearly remember turning on. Here's the story. I'm lost. I have so many questions. Is it possible that this ghost boy followed me? Why showing up 3 months later? Is he trying to tell me something? How do I know, or how do I help him? Edit. A friend of mine will come tomorrow to learn more about the ghost, but she admitted last time she came to my place, she saw something weird, like a halo at the door leading in my room, passing multiple times, but didn't say anything because they didn't want to scare me. If it's bad, she will try to make it leave. And that's all they said. Holy shit, that's fucking terrifying. So something followed you from Italy. That is absolutely terrifying. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your story. And holy crap, I don't even know what I would do in that situation. I don't think I would like something hugging me in my bed that wasn't my spouse. I hate that so much. That's horrible. No, thank you. I think it's from the true ghost story section. So these ones are all true stories. So I'm not reading any no sleep stories in this video, but this one is from the ghost story section, and it's from the Reddit author Norse_God69, and it's titled Some Stories of My Mom's House. So back at my mom's house, my room was in the basement, and the only way to get into the furnace room was through my room. The way my bed was set up was I was on my side. I could see directly into the furnace room because there was no door separating my room from the furnace room. One night when I was laying in bed, I saw a cat walk out of the furnace room and kind of look around my room, and once I blinked, it was gone. After that, I talked to one of my friends whose family was friends with the people who bought the house from, and she told me that their cat actually died in the house, but I'm not sure which room it died in. Another time, I was suffering from an ear infection, and my mom would never believe me when I told her I was having problems. She always thought I was doing it for attention or being dramatic. I was laying in bed, not being able to do anything because of the pain, and there was a possibility I was hallucinating, and I saw a man standing in my door, and he was around average height. He was built and had wide shoulders, and I was watching him for about 10 seconds. When I finally heard a deep man's voice ask me if I was okay. I didn't feel scared. It almost lessened the pain, and I fell asleep, and around 2 days later, my mom told me that she woke up to a man standing at the foot of her bed, and she felt him tapping her foot. She told the man to go away, and after she said that, she felt like she was being pushed into the bed. When she was describing the man, it was exactly who I saw too. The way my house was, you walk down the stairs, and then there was another staircase, like 4 stairs, that you went down, and then there was the furnace room, my room, and a laundry room. So one night, when I was in bed, I was looking at the laundry room, which was open, and I saw a woman walk in wearing a white dress. I remember her being pretty and not creepy. She walked into the laundry room, and I followed her, and it was empty. I went upstairs to the living room because my stepdad was still awake, and I told him what had happened. He said he saw the same woman walk down the stairs towards me. One night, when I was home alone, I was sitting on the couch watching TV, and it was a couple days after my brother's birthday. He had one of those helium balloons in his room upstairs, and while I was watching TV, I could see the balloon floating down the stairs, and it stopped right in front of me, like someone was trying to play with me. At first, I thought it could have been an open window, but I realized that all the windows were closed. It would have had to leave his room, float down the stairs, and turn towards me and stop, which kind of freaked me out, so I told my parents. They made fun of me for getting freaked out by a balloon, but a couple days later, the same thing happened to them. The last story freaked me out the most, but could also have been my imagination. I'm not sure, so one night I was in bed, and my stepdad built a wall to cover the furnace room door, and kind of made like a little doorway outside my room so it was easier to get in and out. And while I was laying there, I could see a shape of a person peeking in my room and then quickly ducking back into the furnace room. I watched whatever it was do it for about 10 minutes, but the weird part was, it was really dark in my room, darker than the darkness, if that makes sense. I only saw that thing one time, so I don't know if it was me imagining it or not. And that's all they said. So they had a lot of experiences in that house. That house is absolutely fucking so active. Holy crap. I don't like that at all. I would have such a hard time sleeping if something was like peeking around the corner and looking at me. That is fucking terrifying. Hi, I used to work for a tow truck company. My shifts were mainly nights, so anywhere between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. I was a dispatcher, and the above computer we used to log in calls was a screen where you could see the security cameras. It has to be noted that our office was a converted trailer, and the window the customers and drivers come up to was kind of like a drive-through window. This happened about 3 nights in a row. Between 2 and 4 in the morning, the security cameras facing the stairs to come up to the office had a silhouette of a man appear, and he comes up to the window. The window was right in front of me, and no one was there. So I thought it was a glitch in the system. Until one night, I came into work and was talking about it with one of my coworkers, and she smiled and said, "Oh, you meant," I can't remember his name right now. He used to be a tow truck driver here, but he passed away 3 years ago. He used to get off at 2 a.m. and sometimes people still see him. If this is true or not, I don't know, but it still creeped me out. And that's all they said. So they keep seeing a silhouette of like a shadow of a man, and it matches the guy that used to work there. That's so fucking sad and kind of creepy, but also kind of sweet at the same time that he's just like visiting. So these are all the stories that I'm going to read today. I'm going to look on Reddit and obviously find some more stories for the next video, but this is all I have for now. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below for more content like this. If you guys have any creepy stories, paranormal stories, or just creepy stories in general that you want to share with me and have me read on the channel, please feel free to email me or message me directly on Instagram. I would love to read more of your guys' personalized stories, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys at the next one. Bye.